Hello everybody, Professor Thompson here. I wasn't expecting to produce another video this week, but a couple things that were on my mind this morning as I was inside the gradebook and inside of our Blackboard course. First, some have to do with the speeches that are due tomorrow, and some with regard to some of the postings that I've read over the last couple days. So let's start with the postings. Some of you got partial credit for the introduction postings and whatnot, and that's simply because you posted the introduction for yourself, but you may not have posted responses to some of your classmates. So make sure that when you look at the directions or you look at the syllabus that you are posting all of the information. Over the course of the term, there are 3 discussion boards in which you have to post your own post, but then respond to at least 2 of your classmates. And so 2 of those types of discussion boards are in unit number 1. And so make sure you do that. When you're doing just the topic for your speeches, those discussion board postings, you only have to post your topics. There's no responses to your classmates. But the other ones, and the student introduction is one of them, you do need to post responses. So those scores, those partial credit scores, can be changed if you fell into that category. A lot of the introductions were really great, and I was happy to read all of those. Your responses to the funniest nomination speech ever were very funny as well. I think the funniest one-word response for question 1, when I said, give me one word to describe the speech, it was, dude. Anyway, there were a lot of great responses. So I've updated a lot of the scores. I did also note that some of you may have only given me one of the PRCA or the PRPSA assessment scores. So check the grade book. All of those scores are up to date for what I have from you. So if you took both assessments, but you didn't send both assessment scores to me, you're going to want to make sure that you forward me those results again. But Blackboard is really up to date when it comes to some of those early postings and those scores. So, okay, so let's real quickly say a couple things about the speech. Again, Unit 1 closes tomorrow at midnight. So you want to make sure you have everything in Unit 1 in its entirety done by midnight tomorrow. However, the speech, the uploading part of the speech itself, is due by 11:30 p.m. I think I have 3 or 4 people who've already submitted those, so thank you. But the reason the speeches are due by 11:30 is because the system itself that collects those files, it won't let me put 11:59. I have to put 11:30. So your speech, make sure it's uploaded by 11:30 p.m. But Unit 1, so all the modules, quizzes, discussion board postings, those close by midnight. Most of you have done a really good job of staying on course, staying on track, and getting things done. So I appreciate that and thank you. One of the questions that seems to have been coming up via email has to do with visual aids and oral source citations. I want to first say that in Unit 1 and also in the handout tab, in 2 locations there, I have the oral source citation handout that gives you examples of how oral source citations should be in your speech. So this is when you're bringing in outside research and outside material into your presentation. So this would be when somebody says, according to the December 5th, 2011 Sports Illustrated article by Jennifer Joseph, she indicated that blah, 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 blah. So you want to make sure that that's inside of your presentation and you've cited it correctly. And I've given you a handout that actually shows how you could write those with magazines, with books, with web pages. So it's a great resource tool for you. Also, On the left-hand side in the tabs, I have a tab that says videos. In that video tab, there are some example presentations for each of the speeches that you will be completing. These are some former student speeches that I have obtained permission to post. They're not perfect speeches by any means, but I wouldn't want to post something perfect. I want you to see that people do have flaws when they present, and that's okay. So they give you an idea or a sense of a presentation, but I do know that all of those speeches include source citation within what they've done. So you can listen for the outside research or material that they bring in. When they say, Tommy John in his New York Times article from January 14th, 2016, da-da-da-da-da-da. Your visual aid is not necessarily an oral source citation, okay? Your visual aid is a visual aid. It's something that's used to enhance your presentation. I do have a visual aid handout in the handout tab as well if you need to access that. That gives you examples of different kinds of visual aids you can use and some suggestions about how to prepare or how to select your visual aids. But again, your visual aid is enhancing your message, making it stronger, showing an example of something, okay, providing some sort of visual clarity. It's not necessarily a source citation. So make sure that you have that distinction or difference in your mind, okay? So this is also discussed, I know, within those introductory chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12 in your textbook. So make sure that you are consulting outside information, books, magazines, newspapers, web pages, to help write your presentation. But then as you take material from that to support your ideas, that you're giving credit to that in your speech. Okay? So I hope that maybe delineates or really kind of maybe clarifies a little bit about how you're not citing a visual aid, you're showing the visual aid, and you might communicate why it's important and connected to your message, but it's not a citation. Okay? All right, so I'm looking forward to the presentations. I will start evaluating them tomorrow evening, and as I said in my video earlier this week, I will be providing feedback and constructive criticism on Monday of next week. I'm going to start scanning and sending some of that stuff back. So best of luck to all of you. I hope you get it done, you wrap up Unit 1, you get started on Unit 2, and you have a great weekend. Take care, and we'll see y'all soon.